Breaking news is shaking the entertainment world. Music mogul and business tycoon Sean Diddy Combs has reportedly been caught with a firearm inside his prison cell. According to sources, during a surprise inspection by prison authorities, a concealed gun was discovered hidden among his personal belongings. The incident has sparked serious questions about prison security and how such a high-risk item could make its way behind bars. Was this an inside job, or is someone trying to frame Diddy while he's at his most vulnerable? So far, prison officials have not released a formal statement, and Diddy's legal team remains silent. But one thing is certain, this shocking twist has sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond. What happens next could change the course of his entire case. Stay tuned and subscribe for real-time updates as this unbelievable story continues to unfold. To fully understand the weight of this moment, we need to go back, way back, to the beginning. Sean Combs, better known as P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, or simply Diddy, rose from humble beginnings in Harlem to become one of the most powerful figures in music and pop culture. As the founder of Bad Boy Records, Diddy launched the careers of legends like the Notorious B.I.G., Maze, Faith Evans, and more. He wasn't just a producer, he was a brand, a businessman, and a symbol of black excellence, ambition, and hustle. From fashion with Sean John, to television with Making the Band. To high-profile relationships and countless awards, Diddy was untouchable, or so it seemed. But fame has a dark side. Over the years, Diddy faced lawsuits, accusations of assault, involvement in violent altercations, and whispered rumors about the 1990s East Coast-West Coast rap wars that left Tupac and Biggie dead. Yet somehow, he always came out the other side, clean, until now. On the morning of July 15th, a routine inspection was being carried out in the high-security wing of the federal facility, where Diddy is currently being held. These surprise inspections are often conducted to prevent contraband from circulating within the prison walls. But no one, not even the most experienced officers, expected what they were about to uncover. Hidden beneath a false panel under Diddy's prison-issued mattress was a compact semi-automatic pistol, fully loaded and ready to fire. As soon as the weapon was found, Diddy was immediately placed into solitary confinement, and the prison's internal affairs unit was activated. The discovery sent shockwaves across not only the prison staff but also the national media, which picked up the story within hours. News outlets flooded timelines and breaking news tickers with bold headlines: "Gun found in Diddy's cell, federal prison breach." And how did Diddy get a gun? The internet erupted with questions, memes, debates, and conspiracy theories. Some fans stood by him, claiming it had to be a setup. Others were convinced that Diddy, already under pressure from ongoing legal issues, was planning something drastic. Law enforcement sources have remained tight-lipped, but anonymous insiders claim the gun was found wrapped in cloth and hidden carefully, almost professionally. The positioning of the weapon suggests it was not simply dropped or planted casually. This discovery has raised major concerns about the integrity of prison staff, visitor security protocols, and whether someone on the inside helped facilitate this breach. And when the person in question is someone as powerful and well-connected as Diddy, people naturally start to ask, how deep does this go? Meanwhile, Diddy's legal team has declined to comment publicly, though sources say they were blindsided by the discovery and are now preparing for an emergency court hearing. Some legal analysts believe this could lead to additional charges, including illegal possession of a weapon and conspiracy to commit a crime while incarcerated. If convicted, these charges could add decades to his already uncertain sentence. Public reaction has been explosive. Social media platforms like X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram have been flooded with trending hashtags. Hashtag DiddyGungate, hashtag PrisonLeak, and hashtag Justice for Diddy. Prominent influencers, YouTubers, and even fellow celebrities have weighed in on the scandal. Some speculate that Diddy was being framed, possibly by enemies in the industry or rivals from his past. Others believe he may have smuggled the gun in out of fear for his life, perhaps expecting retaliation from someone on the inside. While rumors swirl, what remains fact is this: a loaded firearm was found in one of the most secure environments in the country, in the possession of one of the most controversial figures in modern music history. This isn't just a breach of prison security, this is a potential national scandal. It has exposed just how vulnerable even the most tightly controlled institutions can be when money, power, and fame are involved. And now, the Department of Justice is reportedly opening an independent investigation, not just into the weapon itself, but into whether guards or staff played a role. Several prison employees have already been suspended pending internal review. It is no longer just about Diddy. It is about the entire system, about how deeply influence can seep into spaces where rules are supposed to be unbreakable. As more information continues to unfold, one thing is clear: this story is far from over. Diddy's next court appearance could change everything, not only for his future but for the credibility of the federal prison system. Whether he was set up, or whether something far darker is brewing behind bars, Only time will reveal the full truth. As the investigation deepens, questions are being raised not only about Diddy's role in the incident, but also about the possible intentions behind keeping a firearm inside a prison cell. Some legal analysts suggest that this wasn't just about protection, it may have been about leverage, power, or control. In high-security prisons, especially those housing celebrities or high-profile criminals, underground power structures exist. Could it be that Diddy was being threatened? Or worse, was he planning to intimidate or attack someone himself? Theories are growing by the minute. Some claim Diddy was tipped off about a planned attack on his life and was using the weapon as a last resort defense. Others believe the weapon was planted by someone with access to prison security, a warning, a trap, or even a coordinated takedown to bury Diddy deeper in legal quicksand. A few bold voices online have even floated the theory that Diddy is being silenced, his empire dismantled piece by piece, for reasons we've yet to understand. A powerful man with too many secrets can often become a target. Media outlets have now started digging deeper into Diddy's recent history, lawsuits, out-of-court settlements, resurfaced, abuse allegations, and questions about his business practices. A quiet storm that has been building for years may finally be exploding. Investigative reporters are also turning their focus toward possible corruption within the prison system itself. If someone truly helped smuggle a gun into a federal facility, it raises serious concerns about staff vetting, surveillance gaps, and security loopholes. Meanwhile, inside the prison, tensions are reportedly rising. Inmates are being subjected to stricter searches, privileges are being revoked, and multiple cells have been raided. Some inmates have allegedly been placed in solitary confinement simply for being too close to Diddy in the past few days. This has led to unrest within the prison, with some sources warning of possible retaliation, internal conflict, and even riots if the pressure continues to build. Outside, Diddy's family and close circle have remained mostly silent. His children have not made public statements, but insiders say they are devastated and shocked by the development. Several high-profile artists who once collaborated with Diddy, including producers, rappers, and even record executives, are now distancing themselves from the situation. Some have deleted past posts with him, while others have gone radio silent, fearing association with the controversy. Public opinion is split. Some fans are deeply disappointed, feeling betrayed by someone they idolized for decades. Others are doubling down on their loyalty, insisting that this is all part of a larger setup, the takedown of a black billionaire, as one viral tweet claimed. The divide is growing with each new update. Online spaces are becoming battlegrounds between believers and doubters, truth seekers and conspiracy theorists. And yet, through all the noise, one man remains at the center of it all: Diddy, a man who built an empire from nothing, who turned his name into a brand, and who now sits alone in a cold, gray solitary confinement cell, accused of harboring a deadly weapon, possibly facing more years behind bars, and watching the legacy he built teeter on the edge of collapse. As the clock ticks, the legal implications of the gun discovery begin to tighten around Diddy like a noose. Federal prosecutors are reportedly reviewing whether to bring new felony charges, including possession of an unregistered firearm by a convicted individual, obstruction of justice, and potential conspiracy. If proven, these charges alone could carry an additional 15 to 25 years behind bars. Legal experts are warning that this could destroy any chances Diddy had at negotiating a reduced sentence for his previous charges. Behind the scenes, lawyers are scrambling. Diddy's legal team is believed to be preparing a defense centered on denial of knowledge. One leaked source from inside the legal circle claims Diddy may assert that he had no idea the gun was in his cell, suggesting that it was deliberately planted there by someone else. But that defense won't be easy. The weapon was reportedly found hidden deep under his sleeping area, wrapped in cloth, in a location that would be almost impossible to miss by the person living in the cell. There's also surveillance footage. According to prison sources, all corridors and cells are monitored 24/7, though blind spots do exist. The question is, who, if anyone, was caught on camera near Diddy's cell in the days leading up to the search? That footage could become the center of this entire case, either proving Diddy's innocence or solidifying his guilt. Public attention has turned toward the broader theme of celebrity privilege in the justice system. Critics are now asking, if someone like Diddy, with money, fame, and powerful connections, can still operate from inside a federal facility, what does that say about justice for the average person? And if staff or guards were indeed complicit, how many other high-profile prisoners might be receiving similar, secret advantages? Whispers of corruption aren't new in the prison world, but when it involves someone of Diddy's status, the scale becomes massive. Allegations have already started surfacing on social media that Diddy may have paid large sums of money to get protection inside, and possibly to acquire the weapon. None of these claims are confirmed, but the sheer number of voices speaking up online is forcing officials to at least acknowledge the possibility of internal betrayal. At the same time, Supporters of Diddy are demanding a deeper investigation, not into him, but into the prison system itself. They argue that this could be a setup meant to silence him, especially after he was allegedly working on a tell-all memoir and documentary about corruption and hidden agendas in the music industry. Whether this claim holds weight or not remains unknown, but it's enough to stir the online community into a frenzy. The atmosphere around Diddy's case has become something far larger than a man and a weapon. It has become a symbol of distrust in institutions, a test of truth versus power, and a viral moment where the lines between fact and conspiracy are dangerously blurred. Media channels are spinning narratives, influencers are feeding off the drama, and somewhere in the middle of it all sits a man whose silence is only making the world shout louder. Outside the prison walls, the media circus has reached an all-time high. Dozens of journalists have gathered near the facility. Drones are flying overhead trying to capture any sign of movement, and legal analysts are appearing on every major news network debating the potential outcomes. Talk shows, podcasts, and celebrity gossip channels are dissecting every angle of the case, from how the gun could have been smuggled in, to whether Diddy is being made an example of. Meanwhile, fans are torn between disbelief and anger. In the comment sections of every major platform, you'll find fierce debates. Some argue that Diddy is being targeted because of his wealth and influence, possibly to distract from larger scandals brewing in the background. Others believe his downfall was inevitable, that the weight of his past was bound to catch up to him sooner or later. In the middle of all this chaos, some surprising voices have begun to speak out. Former inmates from the same facility have anonymously come forward through journalists and bloggers, claiming that the prison has long been plagued by corruption, bribery, and backdoor dealings, especially when it comes to celebrity inmates. One even claimed that anything is possible in there, if you've got the money. These testimonials, while unverified, have added fuel to the fire and raised doubts about the integrity of the institution itself. Adding even more complexity to the situation is the resurfacing of past controversies in Diddy's life. Several unresolved lawsuits, dating back years, are now being re-examined in light of the current scandal. Allegations of violence, intimidation, and controlling behavior have begun trending online again, prompting new witnesses to come forward. Some claiming they were silenced before and now feel emboldened to speak. It's becoming increasingly clear that this isn't just about a gun in a prison cell. It's about the unraveling of a public figure whose empire was built on image, reputation, and influence. And now, as that image shatters, the cracks are revealing things the public was never supposed to see. Back in court, Diddy's legal team is expected to file for a motion of suppression, claiming that the weapon was discovered without proper cause and that his rights as a detainee were violated. However, legal experts say that given the severity of the situation, it's unlikely the court will sympathize. The prison maintains that the search was conducted lawfully, and sources suggest that there may be more evidence, perhaps even audio recordings that have yet to be made public. For now, Diddy remains in solitary confinement. He's allowed only limited interaction with legal counsel and no visitors. Food is passed through a slot in the door. Lights are on 24 hours a day. No phone privileges, no media access, just silence, concrete walls, and the weight of the world crashing down around him. And outside, the world watches, hungry for answers, desperate for truth, and unwilling to look away. While the silence from Diddy's camp remains unbroken, the outside world continues to speculate. A few days after the discovery, rumors began circulating that a high-profile documentary team had been in early talks with Diddy before his arrest, supposedly working on a project that would expose dark truths about the music industry, hidden contracts, and powerful people with even more powerful secrets. Some now believe that this documentary may have triggered forces working behind the scenes to stop him by any means necessary. These rumors, whether fact or fiction, have added another layer of mystery to an already convoluted story. Online investigators, digital sleuths who pore over every frame of leaked video, every sentence and old interviews have begun piecing together timelines, comparing incidents, and highlighting the sudden disappearances of people once close to Diddy. While mainstream media remains cautious in connecting these dots, independent content creators are already building entire narratives around what they call the Diddy files. As the public digs deeper, some of Diddy's former associates are beginning to come forward, not with support, but with silence. Many have declined interviews, refused to comment, or simply vanished from social media altogether. This mass distancing, though subtle, has not gone unnoticed by fans who were once loyal to the entire bad boy legacy. Something feels off. Many say something bigger than anyone expected. In the entertainment industry, silence often speaks louder than words, and in this case, the silence is deafening. Inside the prison, a different kind of pressure is building. According to an anonymous prison source, Diddy is reportedly not handling solitary confinement well. Though no official health updates have been released, whispers suggest he's experiencing anxiety, paranoia, and bouts of severe isolation-induced stress. Medical staff have allegedly been monitoring him closely, but federal guidelines prevent them from speaking publicly. At the same time, another major development is unfolding. A federal inspection team has now arrived at the facility. Their presence is part of a broader probe into potential corruption, abuse of power, and negligence among prison staff. Every officer who had access to Diddy's wing is being questioned. Visitor logs are under review. Phone call records, surveillance backups, and even staff financials are being audited. This level of scrutiny hasn't been seen in years. Not since another high-profile inmate, years ago, died under mysterious circumstances. The parallels are beginning to worry people. Once again, a powerful man is locked away, with the media swirling outside and a storm of unknowns brewing within. What makes Diddy's case different, however, is the sheer influence he once held. He wasn't just a rapper or a businessman, he was a symbol, a cultural icon. And now, that symbol has become the centerpiece of a scandal that threatens to drag down not just him, but anyone still connected to him. As the investigation tightens and more details begin to leak, the stakes couldn't be higher. Diddy's legal team is reportedly preparing for what they call the most important battle of his life. According to sources close to the case, multiple legal specialists in criminal defense, federal law, and media crisis management have been brought on board. Their goal is not just to prove Diddy's innocence regarding the weapon, it's to preserve what's left of his legacy, career, and influence. Behind closed doors, it's believed that negotiations are already in motion. Some insiders claim that prosecutors may offer Diddy a plea deal in exchange for cooperation, not just in this case, but potentially to expose other figures involved in corruption, money laundering, or even trafficking rings connected to the industry. If that's true, Diddy could either become a whistleblower or be silenced before he ever has the chance. The atmosphere surrounding the case has become thick with paranoia. Media outlets that once praised Diddy's contributions to music are now treating him like a cautionary tale. Brands that once fought for his endorsement are quietly severing ties. Invitations to major industry events revoked. Sponsorships gone. The empire he spent decades building is crumbling, piece by piece, and no one knows if he'll ever recover. And yet, amidst all the chaos, a strange calm surrounds Diddy himself. One prison staff member anonymously shared that he's quiet, alert, watching everything, not panicked, just waiting. What exactly he's waiting for, no one knows. But those closest to the case believe he's preparing for something bigger than the courts, bigger than the press, a counterattack, a tell-all, a last move. As the court date draws near, security is expected to be tightened not only inside the prison but around the courthouse. Rumors of threats, intimidation attempts, and bribery are floating through underground circles. Everyone is on edge, from prison staff to legal aides to rival entertainment executives who fear what Diddy might say if he chooses to open up. Meanwhile, millions of fans continue to follow every twist of this real-life drama. For some, it's a fall from grace. For others, it's proof that no one is above the law. But for many, it's a wake-up call, a reminder that even the richest and most powerful can become prisoners of their own secrets. What happens next is anybody's guess. Will Diddy beat the case? Will he make a public statement? Will he expose those allegedly working against him? Or will this be the final chapter of a long and complicated legacy? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the world is watching closely. And so, as the world holds its breath, we are left with more questions than answers. A man once celebrated for his vision, his hustle, and his empire, now sits behind steel doors alone, accused, and perhaps more dangerous or vulnerable than ever before. Is this the downfall of a legend, or just the beginning of a far more terrifying truth? Was the gun a warning, or a weapon? Was he the mastermind, or the target? The answers are buried somewhere between silence and scandal, power and paranoia. Until then, we wait, we watch, and we remember. In a world fueled by fame and fortune, even kings can fall. And sometimes the loudest screams are the ones never heard. Stay tuned because this story is far from over.